So here's a poem for Amelie called I Like Lions. Once we were all invited to the San Diego Zoo to write poetry amongst the animals for an eventual coffee table book which never came to be. Fuck you, lion bastard, was the first thing that popped into my head. Like the book, the poem never materialized, though there are some who upon greeting me still say, fuck you, lion bastard, and so much is communicated when it is said. They shot lasers into my wife's eyes, and now everything she sees is surrounded by rainbows, especially headlights and bald people. When you read your poetry the other night, my friend, the flood receded, and two of every animal marched out your mouth, down Venice Boulevard, past my wife's eyes, her all-seeing eyes. Last summer, Addie and I went to Boston and London, and I wrote a bunch of stuff there, and here are a bunch of things from that. From this book called A Man with No Teeth Serves Us Breakfast. This is in Boston. It's called She Knows Better. On the 4th of July, I wore red, white, and blue American flag underwear. So I didn't think it would be a problem during the fireworks near the Charles River if I pulled down my pants and shouted, God bless America. My wife assured me it would be. In London, there's sort of a permanent Salvador Dali museum right across from the Parliament, across the Thames River. I wrote this there. It's called Les Escargots, an instrument erotic. The Dali lithographic where the woman has snails instead of breasts. I tell Addie if she ever develops this condition, she should see a doctor immediately. An earlier book I put out called Stolen Mummies was also poems written in London, and there was a poem in there about peeing in a bathroom in Buckingham Palace. Here's the follow-up. It's called Going in the Queen's Gallery. 1. Once again, I am peeing in Her Royal Majesty's men's bathroom. 2. Wouldn't it be nice if I could write something about Buckingham Palace without referring to peeing? 3. That last poem says it all, doesn't it? 4. Yes. The Finchley Experience. I returned to Finchley. It took one too many trains, walk up the main street, past every Indian restaurant, and one with giant sign, vegetarian restaurant. Hungry like a jacket potato, meet old friend and her parents, drive to other Finchley house without parents, dine in new house with 8 people and 1 cat. Cat is only one who lives in house. 2 others are only half people. Everyone is from different country. Soon will travel to even other countries. Songs are sung. Dessert is eaten. Second dessert, only good English chocolate. Third dessert, a single strawberry. Half person taunts resident cat. Sing more songs. Promise of future night. 2 trains back to town. The right number of trains. Because of one of my accidents, we buy instant stain remover in Boston. I spend the rest of London with the stick in my pocket like a superhero whose arch villains are stains. I cough out chocolate onto my white shirt at 8 o'clock in the morning. Captain Instant Stain Remover to the rescue. Oh yes, rub, Captain, rub. A true story. One day, a man with no teeth serves us breakfast. Tea at the Thistle. Quite lovely, except for the moth and the dead fly. Luxury in any country is a plate of assorted cheese, even in this country, England, where the kheer is not good, but by God, at least there's kheer. We have just seen Mary Poppins, so naturally we're wondering if our travel cards cover umbrella. There are never enough biscuits with assorted cheese plates, and certainly don't I mean bread, but no, this is London, and God is in the bakery cellars of Paris, monitoring the progress of future baguettes. So we crunch with celery, nature's biscuit, with cheese so stinky it makes us smile. Even amidst a waiter so rude, his tip floats out of his hands like an umbrella. We will fly all night, or at least until the underground closes, when we'll be back in the room with the curtains that make the daylight go away. Language barrier. The word fanny in England is slang for vagina. No. This isn't so much a poem as a public service to those of you who might travel here and need a polite way to refer to your ass. See, it's funny now to you. You can't slap your wife on the fanny in public. Accommodating our diet. Restaurants here have a standard of putting a distinguishable V by menu items which are vegetarian. I feel so welcome here until I remember the show V about the lizard aliens disguised as humans who came to take over the world and eat us. I spend the next 5 days in my hotel room ordering room service and disguised as not lizard food. A couple others from this book, and I'll end with one other one. Watching sports on the telly. Oh yeah, London? We feed cricket to our lizard. Also true. This is called Lifelong Dream. It's for Homer Simpson and Roy Orbison. It has always been my lifelong dream to open a pub in my city, build a Stonehenge in my backyard, live on a clipper ship, have elephants and castles on every corner. My lifelong dream has always been to travel in a dumb waiter, install a moat, have a train stop underneath my house, understand the difference between beer and beer. If I were to tell you my lifelong dream, you'd hear how I wanted to walk across bridges every day, build a miniature replica of every building and object, be a gentleman of leisure, have a past worth mentioning. My lifelong dream is to have a lifelong dream, live in a house made of wood and stone and marble and wood, interact with chimpanzees. In lifelong dreams, I walk with you. In lifelong dreams, I talk with you. Oh. This is called Eternal Embrace. I wrote it in February. There was a news story that came out of Rome that said this: archaeologists in Italy have discovered a couple buried 5,000 to 6,000 years ago hugging each other. Mm. That's the way I want to go. In her arms, teeth intact, discovered in 5,000 years, a beacon to the loveless masses of the future, our femurs and tibias commingled, a love only bones could know. We'll be like black and white movies, an innocent portrayal of a time long gone. They knew how to do it back then, they'll say. Just imagine if they still had eyes.